Hello and welcome into a brand new series on a brand new channel from a brand new YouTuber. We are going to be playing Total Extreme Wrestling 2020. Been a fan of this game for quite some time. Love all the community surrounding it on the forums and on YouTube. And figured I'd give it a shot. So we are going to be doing a Cverse save. It is the default Cverse 2020 save, but I have added quite a few add-ons from the Grey Dog forums. I'm not going to go ahead and list all of them here in the video. I will have the names of all of them in the description. You can find all of them on the Grey Dog forums, the TEW 2020 mods. And I just wanted to give a quick shout out to the entire community there. They put in a lot of time and work, whether it be the real world mods, the Cverse add-ons, Thunderverse, all that stuff. And it really adds to the enjoyment of the game, the shelf life of the game, and just really enhances my experience with it. So I just wanted to give them a quick shout out. And like I said, you can find all those mods that I'm using in the description. Second big thing I wanted to get out of the way is you will see we're at Thursday week 1, January 2020. Not Monday week 1, not the day of our first show. We've actually already had that. That is because I wasn't exactly sure if I wanted to do this series or not. Like I had said, first time doing anything like this, so I kind of went back and forth on it, but I decided, you know what, let's go ahead and do it. So I did actually already record our first television show, which will be episode 1. This is going to be episode 0. And that will drop a couple days probably after this one. And yeah, I just wanted to give a quick overview real quick and kind of go into some things and some expectations and kind of what I want to do with the series before we jump in. So, I do want to go ahead and say I did give the company a small financial boost. I think this base is like it's really low, like 500,000, 250,000. I went ahead and did 5 million. It's still less than any of the big three in North America. And my reasoning is just kind of to do what I want to do with the save and in my own kind of, headcanon and all that about how this would all come together with North of the Border and CGC merging. I would think that the Decolts and the Stones would have a little bit more money than that, regardless of what had been going on. So imagine this is kind of like their last ditch effort to make things work, and they're all the chips are on the table. I am changing the product to a 3-ring Circus. It's going to be complete in 2 months and 3 weeks. That is because I kind of want it to be, with the combination and just more how I like to play, the combination of the rosters and all that. I just want it to be more of like a widespread, kind of pick what you want style of wrestling company. You're going to have your hardcore stuff, your heavy hitters, your high flyers, your drama, your comedy, and everything in between. So I just kind of wanted to cover all the bases with that. Do have the match and angle focus switched, or angle focus is the same. I do have the match focus switched. Ensemble's just too hard to do with this roster at the beginning. So I went to regular focus. I didn't want to go to like main event focus or anything and make it too, cheese it too much, but I did want to give us a little bit of cushion. And I did only loosely enforce the face heel divide. Alright. Her roster. I did make a couple of signings. Nobody crazy. None of the big names that we kind of normally know. I am using some of the alt character pictures from the forums as well. Again, we all know some of those default Cverse pictures are pretty cringy. So shout out to the entire community again, making all these renders. Again, I will put the ones that I have added on here in the description, and you can definitely go check them out and add them to your game if you so choose. I really think it enhances everything. But you got Aaron Knight. He's kind of our babyface main guy right now. He's our top guy. But I'm not going to go through everybody, but I will go through the new add-ons and a couple of the heavy hitters, the main eventers. We did add acid. I just wanted basically a heel I could squash that wasn't terrible. He still has some skill. I think I signed him to a 6-month contract. Not expecting much from him. Just kind of wanted to pad out the roster and try some few different things. Excuse me. We have Amber Allen. She's our top babyface female wrestler right now. She's also our women's champion. Yeah. Who else? Cameron Vesey, our heel kind of best actual worker. You know, he's the son of Larry Vesey and the nephew of Brian Vesey. We're pretty well known in the Cverse history. Have a lot of lore in there. Christian Price, he is our champion right now, leader of the heel stable, the Elite. I know it's going to get confusing, and I don't know why they didn't do it, but or why they did name it that with everything going on, but I'm going to go ahead and keep it rather than try and change it up, because who knows what the future holds for that stable anyway. David Stone, 19 years old. Obviously a Stone, though, so bright future ahead of him. What else are we right here? Let's see. Now you have Jack DeColt, obviously still wrestling. Love that render of him with the mustache. I did go ahead and sign Jenny Ignition. She's probably the most exciting prospect I signed. 19 years old. Just star quality out the, you know what, basically just across the board really good. She's got no popularity, and her consistency and safety and everything still has a ways to go. She's 19. So it's going to be a slow burn on that, but I wanted to, at least snatch up one hot prospect for the additions to the roster. Johnny Bloodstone, again, a lot of history in the Cverse. Lauren Easter, another one of our main female wrestlers. And just to kind of wrap up here real quick, let's find our other two signings. I'm not going to go through all these. But we have Rocket Ryan Turner I signed again. History in Canada. Pretty decent worker, honestly. Not a whole lot of pop, but I mainly signed him because his tag partner Stan Mana is available also. And we have a really good tag division here. But it's a little... I don't know what the word I want to use is. A lot of the top teams are heels, so I wanted to kind of get a little bit more baby faces working in there. We'll probably try and add a few teams together with this roster. And again, I signed them to like 6-month contracts, so we're just kind of seeing how things go with that. Let's see. Our titles. We have the Tag Team Grand Prix that's going to take place in December. Used to be the Ed Henson Memorial Cup. I think I'm going to do it almost like 2 blocks of round robins, and then the winners of those, or maybe four groups of round robins, and have those 4 go to like a little day of tournament at the Tag Team Grand Prix. Do something similar with the women. Haven't quite figured that one out yet. We do have some changes to the other events, though, I will go over with in a second. CWA Television Champion, Mr. Impact, 65 Prestige, not great, not bad, has been holding it for 234 days. That's something you're going to see in a lot of these title reigns. They have been going for quite some time, which I think is one of the interesting things about starting out with this default Cverse with CWA is that it kind of leads you to a lot of options. Amber Allen, again, our women's champion, 220 days. With those long title reigns, you either can use that as justification to pull the switch really fast and change things up, or keep people going and really, up that prestige and make it a big deal when they lose it. Really good prestige for such a new company in the game world. Christian Price, our CWA World Champion. Not quite as long, but still 136 days. I think that's the most recent, or the shortest reign we have right now. And as I was saying, our tag team division is kind of our, other than our 4 or 5 main eventers, our tag division is what's going to carry a lot of the bulk of these shows and really pad out the mid and undercard. Um, 332 days for the Dynamite Express. They are literally 2 weeks away from hitting a year, and that's pretty cool. We'll see if they hit a year or not. We'll find out in a couple of episodes down the line. All right, we'll look at our creative real quick. Again, our franchise players. Let's kind of talk about those top 4 guys: Aaron Knight, Cam Vesey, Sean McFly, who I haven't talked about yet. Really popular, really good psychology in the ring, but he's 45 years old, not great on the mic, and definitely winding down. So, that kind of puts him in a certain position for how we're going to use him in the save. And Christian Price is the 4th one, our world champion. Our next big things, starting out with two people in our women's division. Brooke Tyler, another person I haven't mentioned yet, but she's definitely our best women's worker. She's kind of our Cam Vesey of the women's division. Just really good performer. She's got good charisma and star quality and all that. She's going to be a major player for this save. Jenny Ignition, our signee, I talked about her earlier. Flip Simpkins, he's the only one on here that I see that they're saying could go on to become a major player somewhere down the line. Which is interesting. He's in a tag team right now with Alex Winters, Gen Z. Only 20 years old, so it's a ways off, but it could be something interesting to see how that plays out down the line. Dapper Danny Draper, not sure how interested I am in really making him a focal point of the save, but it's good to know that he's got some good Destiny roles maybe in the RNG. George Wolf, again, kind of, we have a lot of wrestlers on this roster that are decent workers. Quite a few that are really good workers, but a lot that are decent workers but very bland. Not a lot of charisma, microphone, stuff like that. They're just kind of have a good psychology stat or good brawling or technique, something along those lines, but not much else. So that'll be an interesting challenge for this. Hot prospects. We'll go over those real quick. Jenny Ignition, Brooke Tyler, Sunny Wildside. I actually really like Sunny Wildside. I really like that render of him as well, too. Solomon Gold and Flip Simpkins again. Talk the Talk. Obviously, Steve DeColt. He's kind of our... In the save, it says that he's kind of a Vince McMahon style evil CEO. I don't know if he's going to be quite that in this, but we will definitely use his pop and his charisma, his mic skills, all that stuff to our advantage and put him in some angles and maybe even some storylines. At least just kind of, we're not going to not take advantage of the fact that we have all that. Jack DeColt, really good on the mic still. Old again. His body's starting to break down. He is in a tag team with his brother Ricky. We'll see that in a second. Aaron Knight, our top babyface, so that's helpful. Drake Young, he's not much to write home about, but he is kind of the mouthpiece guy who gets his ass kicked of the Elite. If Blockbuster is the big heavy brute, he's like the mix of, I don't even know, like if you had, the lackey stooge who's going to get whooped up on all the time, mixed with like Jimmy Hart or Paul Heyman or just some annoying, really good, fast talking, slick talking heel jerk. And Cameron Vesey, already gone over him. He is one of our best showstoppers, as I was just saying. Cameron Vesey, he's on the last of the top 5 for the Talk the Talk, but number 1 for showstoppers. Like I said earlier, he's our best worker. Sunny Wildside, again, I said I have some interest in him. them saying that he's our, second best in-ring worker. We'll definitely see how that goes, and what's in store for him. Sean McFly, again, old. Um, yeah, they say his selling moves is impressive. Um, he has the exceptional in-ring psychology, though. That's really what's propping him up into here, and the fact that we just don't have a lot of, like I said, great workers right now. Aaron Knight, our top babyface again. Glad that he's on here. And Ricky DeColt, the other DeColt brother I was talking about earlier of the tag team that's still wrestling. He's a little bit younger. I want to say he's like 35, 36. Um, so definitely not somebody we're going to build the roster around maybe, but we don't have to worry about his declining ability and all that stuff quite as soon as we do McFly and his brother Jack and all that. Ring generals again, Cameron Bessie, Sean McFly, Shooter Sean Dealey. Haven't talked about him. He's got a lot of history in the Cverse in Canada. I believe they say in his profile that he's the only one who won the CW or the CGC title and the North of the Border title. Now he's here in CWA, hasn't won that yet, so that could be an interesting story or something to play with. Johnny Bloodstone, we kind of went over him briefly again. He's been around for a while. And Aaron Knight, again, we all know the deal. Who's hot? Aaron Knight, kind of all over this. Brooke Tyler, Skip Bow. He's an interesting guy. Again, he's not the best worker, but he's not bad. He's got some charisma, more than a lot of our roster, and he's got some pop. So he's definitely going to come into play. Christian Price, our champion, he should be on here. And Dante Dunn, another one of those guys I think is going to be interesting. He's a babyface. Hasn't done a whole lot of note. Just kind of, but he's got some pop. He's kind of on that cusp, and we'll see what we can do with him. Who's not? Johnny Bloodstone. Feel bad for him. Legend. Well, maybe we can turn that around for him. And Lee Rivera, the former Thrill Seeker. All right. Teams, real quick. We're gonna speed this up a little bit because I know we're probably going long at this point. Well, there's kind of a spoiler for something we're putting together, but not too surprising, seeing as in the game world, Johnny Bloodstone trained Jared Johnson, but we are gonna have them as a tag team. Don't know how. They're not going to be necessarily that's all they're going to do, but whenever I do have ideas for tag teams and people who might team together occasionally or have a relationship together, I like to go ahead and put them together as a team on here because they add that experience as they go, and if not, you may have them work 20, 30 matches and then put them together, and you lost all that time you could have been earning up that experience. Generation Z, we talked about Flip Simpkins. Alex Winters is his partner, both considered recognizable. Brothers Kane, goofy renders, but they're great. Way better than the ones for the default one are some of the worst. 100 experience, recognizable heels. They're pretty bad in the ring, though. I'm not gonna lie. They're not really good on the mic either. They're something. The DeColt boys, Jack and Ricky, both are going over them. Of course, they have 100% experience. They're our first ever World Tag Team Champions. The Dynamite Express, again, 100 experience. We have a lot of those on here. Well-known heels, Sid Collier, Cam Jones. I kind of think of them as, I don't even know. They're really good at putting on matches in that classic kind of way, almost like an FTR. But they got more of that that sports entertainment, just smug, pretentious, entitled heel. A little bit more cheat to win, take shortcuts, not maybe quite the wrestlers that they are, that FTR in the real world are, but they take those shortcuts, and they're still just that kind of old school throwback. The Griffin family, Mark Griffin, he's well known. Robbie's recognizable, low experience, but they are brothers. The Griffin family. Montreal Mafia, another interesting one. 100 experience, both recognizable heels. Mark Raisin, Dermot Ayers. Dermot's a pretty good worker. I don't really recall much about Mark Raisin, but they could definitely factor in somewhere down the line. talked about signing these guys earlier, the Rock City Stars. They're both going to be unrecognizable for now, or unimportant is what I meant to say. And like I said, I'm not sure any of these signings we make at the beginning are going to be huge players. Like I said, we only signed all of them for 6-month deals, and maybe besides Jenny Ignition, we might have signed her for 2 or 3 years. But yeah, we already have a good tag division, so the more the merrier. Thunder and Lightning, again, 100 experience. We've seen a lot of that. Recognizable baby faces, Jason Thunder and Lightning Lomas. They're all right. If they were a little bit younger and had a little bit more time to develop or something like that, or were still trending upwards, I'd be a little bit more hyped on them. But they kind of fall into that category of those guys that are decent. They're not bad. They would just be more lower mid-card, undercard guys on a roster that you would want to build on, in TEW, especially in the Cverse. But they're kind of being relied on, as you'll see. They're in one of the starting feuds, the starting storylines for the default Cverse 2020, and it's for the championship. So they're just kind of, I don't know. I would just have them further down the card in an ideal world, but that's part of the fun, and we're gonna figure it out and do some fun stuff with it. Last couple things. Second to last, the events and TV. I did change the order of quite a few of these around, and I changed the stipulations for quite a few of them. And I also, they were all at 2.5 hours. Oh, by the way, I changed Championship Wrestling to 2 hours. I think most people who play CWA do that. It's set for 90 minutes at the beginning, and you have way too big of a roster to do only one show at 90 minutes. So we have that for 2 hours every Wednesday. Total Elimination, it's going to be our January show. It's going to be like a Royal Rumble style main event for the men, and the winner's going to get title shot at Clash Classic in March. As you'll see, for like Total Elimination, Last Man Standing are February 1. I have them for 2 hours. So I kind of wanted to compromise, because I don't like doing, in a perfect world, I wouldn't do a pay-per-view every month, but especially with the financial situation and just how this game works, they're too big of cash cows to miss out on every month. So to kind of simulate that almost AEW style, where you have, your 4, now 5, maybe 6 now, counting all in, pay-per-views a year. But you also have these, specials peppered in throughout the year, Beach Break, St. Patty's Day Slam, Fight for the Fall, and all that stuff, Grand Slam. You just kind of get a little bit increased quality and stuff like that. So it's kind of meeting in the middle on that. We will still have these, but as pay-per-views, but they're only going to be 2 hours, and then every third one, so every 3 months, 4 times a year, we're going to do one that's going to run for 3 hours, and that's kind of like emulating our actual big pay-per-view. Clash Classic is our first one of those. Chaos in the Cage is going to come after that. We will have a cage match of some sort. It's not going to be all of them, but there will be one featured. We're going to have Super Slam, Ultimate Showdown, which is normally the season finale, and it's in July. I bumped it up to June. You'll see kind of the rest of the changes and how that fell in there. But it is one of our more important shows still, 3 hours. And the Company of Legends, Summer Smash, and then Wrestle Festival. We went ahead and moved that to September. I don't know if that's sacrilege to people who have played the Cverse or TEW for quite some time. Not super hip on all the lore, especially for the Canadian companies, but I know Wrestle Festival was a big deal. Didn't know much about Ultimate Showdown, so I went ahead and changed this to the season finale. It's in September too, so that gives us a couple more months to kind of toy with and build up, especially since we have a lot of this roster. We kind of gotta we're gonna have to transfer some pot from some of the older guys. That's just kind of how it is. Big City Brawl after that. Apocalypse, it's going to be like a 4v4 elimination match for the main event. I think that's how it actually is. Let me actually check. It might be. Yeah, main event is 4 versus 4. We'll do elimination. It'll be like Survivor Series style. And then in December, we talked about this, the Tag Team Grand Prix. Um, we'll do some sort of tournament on the night, whether, like I said, we do round robin before, or we do like even an 8-team tournament on the night, or 16-team tournament and do the final 4 on the night, do something for the women. It is one of our more important shows, so it's going to be 3 hours long. We'll see. Maybe we'll throw a title match or 2 on there too, but I do really want it to be focused on the tag team because I think that's one of the cool aspects of this company. And then before we wrap up, just kind of want to go over some notes on the actual series and how we're going to do this. The actual episodes after this one are going to be, all the shows will already be booked. I'll kind of go through, we'll do the promos, maybe have a few highlights for each of the matches. You'll notice in the first episode that's coming out next, I went a little long. I think it's about 23 minutes, the video. I'm going to try to keep them under 20 minutes for all of our TV shows. Might go a little bit longer for the pay-per-views and such, but going to try and keep it a little bit more concise. But I will, we'll if there's any cool spots or anything I've thought of, or kind of how I envision the finishes going, especially, and obviously the promos and the storylines will work those in there. But the episodes from here on out will be more just kind of bang, bang, bang. We're going to jump right in, treat it a little bit more like you're actually watching the episode or whatever. But I'm thinking every 2 to 3 months or so, we'll do like a housekeeping episode. I can go on the back end, show everybody's kind of how their popularity's gone up, how we're doing financially, any big things going on in the game world. Obviously, if there's any huge news or a company goes under, some big name switches companies, I'll shout that out the week of the episode. But other than that, yeah, that's kind of the plan for now. Again, this is the first time I've done something like this, so it's all kind of up in the air, but I am definitely, committed to this at the moment and gonna give it a shot. We'll see how it goes. Pretty excited. Oh, one other thing that I wanted to share. I don't know if I can see it on here, and I don't want to go to the other screen and spoil some stuff, but we did develop a working relationship with WLW. We have a friendly attitude with them now, and we both can accept workers on excursion from each other. We'll see if we actually do anything with that. It was more just kind of playing around, but I really like WLW. They have some good workers, and we have some young workers that could honestly go for an excursion. I'm not naming names yet, but yeah, that's going to be it for this first episode 0. It's going to be titled just kind of the overview, going over everything for the series, and in a couple days, we'll have episode 1, and we'll keep it rolling from there. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you next time.